What's going on, YouTube? Going on the gram. So, yeah, so I'm gonna go live no more, and I'm not. I'm just gonna post on my YouTube channel, share it. You wanna like, you wanna subscribe, you wanna comment, cool. If not, that's cool too. Yeah, like I said, it's been getting challenging, with, like working construction and reflecting on the good things that have happened since I've been, knocked on my first door. And then GCD there, he was asking, he was like, oh, my friend wants to buy a house, trying to explain to them how I, did it by door knocking and whatever strategies I used to, get the first 3 leads that are generated, and the fourth I have, and maybe even a fifth one right now is being worked on. And then 2 other big ones that I've kind of kept in my back pocket, right? But, and, I said, yeah, I'd love to help them, right? Like, that's what I've done this whole time, right? I said it before, I'll say it again, inspire people that are in a spot similar to mine so they can take action and progress and move forward. Also, as like a daily virtual journal, whatever the case is, right? And then I said I'm going to stop doing it, but then since I stopped doing it, I kind of seem to get more in a depressed state because, like I said, I'm not generating leads as frequently as I was last year when I had more time because I had passive income through whatever. Sorry, somebody commenting on live on my Facebook live. But anyway, so this week I started listening to books again, making sure that I'm reading a lot more, and that's why I put the question on Facebook the other day. Like they say, before you fall asleep, you should start reading a book rather than listening, right? And I'm wondering if I'm staring at my screen and reading a book, is that going to make it so I don't sleep as well? So that was just one question. So I was listening to the podcast. Which one was it? The Problems of Profit one, right? I was listening to Adam J. Martin, and and it was actually it was a good one to listen to because I listened to it about three times, maybe even 4 times, right? And like just like hearing about his story and like where he comes from and everything. And I always can, like, this is what it's inspiring to hear everybody's story, right? Like because it's like I can relate in certain aspects. I can relate it to my story, and hearing like the I don't like to focus on the part of the story that could be thrown in a negative light, but like hearing that it's not just me that comes from madness growing up, right? Like other people went through it and they still aspire to do better and have a better life for whatever reason motivates them, and here they are continuing and going forward, right? So like I said, always making goals of learning something, right? Learning something new on a daily basis, right? It's just like I felt like now that I'm carrying bricks and shoveling mortar all the time, it's become challenging because I'm tired at the end of the day, right? Like I'm tired, right? It's but it's giving me time to learn how to use my computer better, right? Which is something that I really need to do. And it's giving me time to just sit there and reflect, right? But like as I've said before, laziness is depression's best friend. The more you sit around and loaf, the more depressed that you can get if you're like me in any way, right? Which I don't think anybody is, but at the same time, yeah. So listening to that story, what did I hear in it? They said he said they're trying to find ways to take over more of the market share, right? And then so ideas that first came to my mind when I heard that was, if you like, and like people will always say things to me like it's just because I'm in a union, right? But like I'm not saying like join the union for construction, but I'm saying like if you want to take over more of a market, you have to amalgamate, join, unionize with the competition, right? It's like you can compete against each other or you can just join forces and make money together, and then that's how you would, in my general newbie, remember I'm a beginner, I'm new to this stuff, opinion, that's how you would generally take over more of the market share, right? Like now of course I know it would be a little bit challenging to go to Boardwalk Empire and walk in the building and ask them if they're selling a building like somebody I know did. But to go in there to maybe a smaller one, or a company that's maybe the same size as theirs, and say, hey, well, why don't we try this, right? And like putting yourself in other people's shoes and asking them, like asking yourself, okay, well, what could somebody say to me that would make me want to join forces with them to grab a bigger share of the market, right? Some ideas I have, right? Because practicing on myself and reflecting on where I went wrong in life and have gone wrong today to be a better person and better at what I'm aspiring to do, and reading these books on negotiations, that's what it pretty much says, right? And like I practice in any way possible, right? Any way possible, right? Like it doesn't matter if I'm trying to buy this person's house or however that works or however you think that works, right? Or life is negotiations, right? Like every part of life is a negotiation. So whether you're, like I said, trying to buy a house, or you're trying to get a job, or you're trying to buy a car or get a car fixed or whatever it is, right? Like practicing negotiation is key, right? And like putting yourself the number one thing I've taken out of any negotiation stuff that I've listened to or learned is putting yourself in the other person's shoes, right? Like what, you know what? Oh, that actually reminds me of something. So last night, I'm here. I have in both rooms and downstairs I have a couple gentlemen that are here for they have a visa for school, right? So like the first guy I met, like he speaks pretty good English, right? But he needs to work on it. He likes to talk with me because then he gets to learn how to speak English better, right? I did warn him. I'm like, hey, listen, brother, I'm sorry, but my English is not the best. Okay, like I didn't go to school and get a degree in English. Hey, like my English is broken, right? Like it's broken, and it's it's just me. I'm sorry, but I can talk to you about a little bit of English that I know. But then he had another friend come over that I met last night, Malik, and like this guy was like a high quality person. Like you could just tell like this man was educated, right? Like his English was so fluent that like I could tell when he was joking, right? And like it wasn't his first language, and like he knew other languages, right? And like that's right there. Like it's downtime. They invited me to eat. They always invite me to eat after 8 o'clock when they break their fast. Like, hey, come eat, come eat, come eat. Like such sharing and such giving, right? And like teach me about Arabic, or no, not Arabic, that's the language, Islam, right? And like how, like Christianity is followed by Christians, Islam is followed by Muslims, and things like that, right? So just sitting there and talking to this person, he's teaching me words that I don't even know about the English language, right? And like very well spoken and very well. And I'm saying to him, like, man, you should get into some sort of sales position because you're fluent with English and so on and so forth, right? And just like all the time, like if you make a goal at the beginning of the day to learn something new, it's crazy how like if you consistently do that, like eventually you will start to learn, like notice like you literally have something to learn from everybody. You do, hands down. It doesn't matter what you're trying to learn, because they say there's things called useless knowledge. I don't believe in that, right? Like every bit of knowledge is good knowledge, right? Because and especially in the situation that I'm in right now, right? Like I'm a type of person I also work for like a multi-diversal, I guess, right? So like I don't just want to know English. I want to know French, Latin, so I know 4 other languages. Like my goal in 10 years is to be able to speak like 7 or 8 languages fluently, right? But because then the idea I had was that I can go to different countries and different provinces or whatever, and some sort of real estate lead generation or buy property to Airbnb to whatever the case, right? But then I learned that out in India, I guess the country is, the one close to the Mediterranean Sea, a real estate agent or broker they're looked at as bad people, right? And then they asked me like, what about here in Canada? I'm like, well, just like every single systematized government ran profession, you got your good people, and then you got your bad apples, which make it bad for the rest of them, right? Well, like what other word? A back. He's like, oh, when you see this picture of me, you're gonna see it's a back, and I'm like, could you please, I'm like, never be afraid to ask, right? You can't be afraid to ask a question. There's no such thing as a stupid question, right? so like I ask questions. If I don't understand a word that this gentleman's saying, I ask, could you please explain what that means? And he explains it to me, and then I relate it to my ghetto slang. Like, okay, so that's like me saying this, right? But and like working on myself, because yeah, I'm always gonna be myself, but still, how can I sit at a table with high quality people if I can't speak a high quality language, right? Which financial education is a big one, which I'm about to pay this guy that's been harassing me probably $100 to do this financial education course, because knowledge is priceless, right? Like you can't really, some people go to school and they pay what, hundreds of thousands of dollars and die in debt, and there's guys like me that I just go knock on doors and talk to people, right? Which I gotta go do here soon. I'm 16 minutes past when I was supposed to leave to go and do this. I was gonna get some chapstick for these lips here, because being outside in the weather conditions and everything changing, it's putting a detrimental impact on my chatness of my lips. So yeah, like I said, lots of great things to learn all the time, man. Like I kind of got to go live, right? Like I said I made a goal, and like I was gonna do this passive income, and then I was gonna make music, because it's always been my dreams as a kid, right? But then of course, going through it is like, that's one of those things that, hey, you can put all this work in and maybe get paid, or you get, right? So I was talking to GCD at his house there, and I was like, yeah, I would make music to inspire younger people to be like, okay, don't make the same mistakes that I made, because it'll prolong you on your path to success, right? And he's like, yeah, Michael, but like, as long as you help one person, that's all that matters. And I'm like, okay. And I stopped going live. I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop going live on Facebook. I'll still go on Instagram, and I'll just post on YouTube. But now I got a way that I can do all three at once, right? And then I'm gonna, like I said, share my channel. You want to subscribe? You don't, whatever. No sweat off my back, right? But then I'm thinking, right, and like, my going live did help somebody. It did, right? And I talked to them a couple days ago, but they took steps to do what they had to do to have a better life for them and their partner, right? And it's like, and like they expressed it to me. They're like, yeah, man, meeting you and watching your lives like really helped me get to where I'm at so far. And like so it's like, so I figured out, I'll just stop going live, man. I help somebody, great, cool, I don't need to help the world. I help one person, and that means the world to me. But then I'm like, okay, well, great, help one person. Just like, man, I found one lead that close, and I found two, and I found three, and I'm working on a fourth. It's like, okay, well, better keep doing it, because hopefully I can help some more people, right? And like, I'm not a person that, okay, I'm gonna do you a favor because I'm gonna get a favor in return. No, you can't. In my opinion, of course, you can't do things to get stuff in return, right? Like, and what's that quote? The more people you help get to where they want, the more likely you are to get to where you want to be. And that's what it's all about, man. Like, I like to help people, like, not for anything in return, right? And that's why that's why I'm so iffy on who I work with, right? Because people like me can be getting taken advantage very easily, right? So I always like to feel out a situation and everything, right? And then same with that's another thing. Like, I've had a couple people that have come and asked me to come work with them, right? And yeah, of course, I'm open to working with everybody. 1,000% I am. But I made a goal, right? I made a goal, and that goal's not completed yet. So until it's completed, then, right? But anyway, thank you. Thanks to Graham. Thanks to Book. Thanks YouTube. Let's go generate a lead that closes today. Have a great Sunday. Have a great week. Hopefully, I'm gonna come be doing live a little bit more, but I'm probably gonna go back to a morning flex, right? Oh yeah, and I got back on my workout grind, and my diet, however, has not been so good. The other day I crushed like 24 cookies in like not even 24 hours, but working on it daily.